There's affection being shown for Steve O'Dwyer, who's been flattened. But play goes on. We'll keep an eye on things. Keogh couldn't get a clean swipe at it. Grinter asked the question and gets the affirmative from the umpire. He takes it from half back. Kicks down towards the centre wing. Well taken by Bennett. Wanted the hand pass going to the player going past, but ended up doing it himself. The second one is out towards Dyson. Can't take it cleanly and loses it. A chance now for Tregenza. Takes the hand pass. They set it up again for McDermott. He pumps it deep into the forward line for the Crows. Hawkins at the back. The scuff. Oh, he tried to tap it on. And there's another player hurt. That's Spalding down. Spalding appears to be hurt. Play, however, goes on. Brett Lovett could have been leg. To Klug. The left foot snap by John Klug. Goes over for one behind. Well, Earl Spalding is up and in the hands of the trainer. They certainly couldn't afford to lose him now with Owen out. Grinter back into play once again. The margin 12 points. The mark taken by Stynes.
50 metres. 50 metres. And Bennett will really have to keep on his guard because Maynard went down and nearly took that mark at centre half forward for the Crows, and he is capable of running down. Good to see Earl Spalding back on his toes.
Stynes kick up towards the forward line. O'Dwyer at the back. Couldn't do anything with it. The opportunity for Lindner, but he can't pick it up. Jackson gets in front spot now, but the line beats him.
Danny Hughes obviously hasn't got too many friends back at Melbourne. He was fighting with Stephen O'Dwyer now on screen just after half time, and he's at it with Bennett in the second quarter.
The Crows lead by 2 goals. This is Dyson, a class player, was grabbed high. And free kick to Kevin Dyson, former Oakley player in the VFA in Melbourne. Now Dyson will kick from 50, so he should be able to make the distance, 45-degree angle. And he's taking his time. That's good to see. Kevin Dyson a chance to kick a goal and make the margin 1 straight kick. And he's getting plenty of hoots from this parochial Adelaide crowd. Kevin Dyson wearing number 50 in the long sleeves. Let's have a look at this drop punt. It's a beautiful looking kick. Will it make the distance? I think that might have just snuck over the line for a goal. Yes, it has. So the margin now 1 straight kick after that goal by Kevin Dyson.
Well, that was really a fantastic kick. I thought he was a little ambitious in going back so far and taking so long because he let that go from 55 metres out, but he had plenty of confidence in his ability, and that was a great kick from goal for goal.
Back in the middle once again. 6 points the margin. Stynes beaten for it. McGuinness lost it. Lovett, a hurry kick. Down towards half forward. Lindner through with strength. Micken out of the centre, but only as far as Dyson. Away he goes again. Slews off the side of the boot, however, and goes out of bounds on the full-on centre wing. Tregenza to bring it back into play. Steps to the half-forward line. Mark dropped by Liptak, but he recovers. Gets it across to Beckley. The Crows go deep into the attacking zone.
Oh, free kick.
Free kick away.
It is.
Of the D's, it will be. Jamieson going up.
Good to see the umpires smartening up on a few of these things, like holding and pushing when they're going for those specky marks.
I think someone's having a dig there. Tregenza claims it at the back. Dyson was in front. Varney was left. The advantage is paid. Keogh, lovely kick. Bennett dropped it. Well, he's dropped a couple. McGuinness. Penetrating hand pass. Liptak. McGuinness from Marshall. Inside 50. Jamieson with a one hand. Pushes it down for Hart. Hart shoots for goal. And bang! There's another one for Crows.
Well, it's not over and down with speed, Hart. But he certainly does read the ball well on the forward line. An opportunist. Forward seems to be just trotting behind McGuinness.
Yeah.
And there he is, the ball falling for him. And David Hart,
One.
very well done.
Well, back to the centre. 2 goals, the margin now, as Steins hits it down with the left hand. McDermott working hard, gets in a very quick hand pass to McGuinness. Phoebe can't get his boot to it. Socket off the ground by Marshall, who was a great player in the first half. Dyson sockers it away towards the half-back line, then goes to get it again. Loses it as he tried to pick it up. Hart working very hard in the packs there. Tries to get in a hand pass, and that was tough. Now, he made all the play, Darryl Hart, and that is where the guy should not be penalised. Kevin Dyson from half-back. It's a hand pass across to Grinter. Grinter to centre wing. Micken pushing and shoving. Over the back was Bennett. Here's Jimmy Steins. Kicks into the man. Cuthbertson. Oh, great skills shown by McGuinness. Brilliantly done to Simon Tregenza towards the half-forward line over the back. Oh,
good
great mark.
Good
What
mark.
a top mark taken by Lyon.
Gary Lyon at half-back. Short to Keogh. Keogh with the left foot up towards centre wing. And the mark taken by Cuthbertson. He goes towards the 50-metre line.
Oh, it's a free kick.
No, it's not Donald. McGuinness has got one.
Yes. Maynard had his arms dragged down to that mark.
Well, you know, Bennett really wasn't going for the ball. He hit Maynard somewhere across the chest.
McGuinness's kick is good, and Gary Lyon, however, takes the mark. Goes to the outer side. The margin is 2 goals. He's looking for Steins. The big man leaves it for Phoebe. Showing some dash. He finds Jakovic right on 50. Alan Jakovic kicked a goal on the half-time siren. Melbourne are down by 2 goals. Going to be kicking from outside 50. It's going to take a long kick. The drop punt looks pretty good. Just drifts across the face. Lindner got up very high. Who'll be first to recover? Beveridge pulls it round his body. It floats high across the face of goal. Away from Ricky Jackson it goes. Bickley gets them out of trouble. Hughes' kick is wide to the outer side. Phoebe and Marshall. Phoebe does well. Keeps pushing the ball along in front. Try of ball. But it was held, and there'll be a match.
The parochial crowd. Good umpiring decision, that one. There's Ford. Number 43 for Melbourne is Andrew Ford. He's picking up McGuinness. Tried to tag him all night. McGuinness has played pretty well, though. Some pushing and shoving going on. It was tapped down by Micken. There's Tony McGuinness with pace. Oh, brilliantly done. McDermott. Lip tack. Goes with a hand pass again. Marshall back inside. Lindner. A quick kick to the half-forward line.
Well
over
done,
the back.
Clark.
Charging through was Simon Clark. Here's Gary Lyon with a quick kick. Thank you, Don, for the commentary. Stephen Clark, I should say. Dyson to half-forward and a beautiful long kick towards full forward. O'Dwyer in front. Punched the ground. Here's it tempted soccer off the ground was by Jackson. Tapped further afield towards Micken. Micken kicks it to Bickley. Bickley tapping it on. O'Dwyer into his back. Umpire calls play on. O'Dwyer gets it back from Beveridge. Here's Steve Phoebe. A set shot from 30 metres. Kicks a goal, Phoebe. And it's a goal. Stephen Phoebe has kicked his second and Melbourne hit back hard. 8-8 to 7-8.
Well, I thought there was a free kick against O'Dwyer and going for this ball. There he goes out there. They're working hard, the Melbourne guys. Maybe it was into the side by O'Dwyer. Quick handball by the big fellow. And that's a good kick by Phoebe. He did one earlier by roving the pack in the first quarter and doing well.
Once again, it's a kick the difference. Tregenza gets a bad bounce. Cuthbertson a good one. Melbourne into attack. Down towards the half-forward line. Well controlled by Beveridge. Gets a hurried kick, but it's going to work for him because Bennett takes the mark. Little fortunate.
First mark for the night. Will he make the distance? That's the big question.
Ooh, that's going to be it.
Well, I'll back him to make the distance. They are
65 metres.
Yes, and I'll back him to make the distance.
Directly in front. It will be a mighty kick.
Oh, went a torpedo.
Didn't get onto it. Did not get onto it. Dropped short. Taken by Liptak, and the Crows well and truly out of trouble. G. McGuinness is covering some territory. This is Abernethy's kick towards centre wing, close to the boundary line. On the ball, was it? No. said the umpire, and Hodges will take it. And a murmur in the crowd suggesting perhaps it was over, Pete. Towards Klug. Outmanoeuvred. Hart in front. Will take his own hand pass if he can get there in time. Does it nicely. Kick is a poor one. Spalding. Towards half-back. And it's Phoebe once again, who should get them out of trouble. Long hand pass to Andrew Ford. Got a chance to set something up here. Love it. Through the centre. Thinks about the hand pass inside, then goes out. Ford again. Off to Viney. Gets caught, but did get the handball away. Now McDermott can't pick up the ball and sees it over the line on the outer side.
And Hodges now playing on half forward. Scott Hodges. Peter Road has followed him.
Micken and Bennett. Bennett got front spot. Inside 50 now. Jakovic a little late. Love it. Eyes for the football. Couldn't take it. Marshall shows skill. Hodges under pressure. Road also. It is very tight. Love it. Keogh. Tucked on the boundary line on the outer side. Will swing round on the left foot. Good looking kick by Keogh in towards Steins. Couldn't take it, and it goes over the back. 4-1 behind. So, nip and tuck here at Football Park.
Benny Hughes to the half-back line. Micken, very impressed the way he intelligently leads for the ball. Mark Micken when he's at half-back. Well done by McDermott to tap it round the line, but it goes over.
Have you played this ground, Pete?
Only once in a practice match, 1975 for the Magpies. Sandy?
Kicked many goals?
I lost count. Micken down the ground. That's Viney to the half-forward line. Puts it out of bounds on the full.
You've stunned Don.
Well, Don might have coached successfully here at some... Oh, no, sorry, he couldn't have. 6
He did.
games.
Hang on, we had a
won
win
a night
here in a
game.
night game. I had 19 men on the ground in the last quarter. They couldn't believe it.
Well, there's Bickley to the centre wing. Over the back, they've got the running player in Tregenza. A chance here for the Crows. The kick towards full forward. Little Eddie Hocking. They love him. Here he goes, the little rover. Round the corner and one behind only. He hurried that kick a little bit too much. Hocking, he set the crowd alight in the second quarter when he had a kick from about 50 metres and he ran round the man on the mark, Stephen Clark, and kicked through a goal from 40 metres, and the whole crowd roared with approval.
Grinter's kick out finds O'Dwyer. This kick is not a good one. Micken picks it up well on the half volley. Sends the Crows back into attack, but only as far as Earl Spalding.
I think they're making a mistake here. I reckon Hodges should be back at full forward.
Oh, not again. Don't start on this. We had it all Friday.
Line to Clark, don't argue. Clark's kick towards Bennett, and he holds another one. Now, he won't kick that. Looks for Jakovic. With him is Lee. Almost gave a nudge.
Ooh.
You thought he did, Pete?
Oh, he nudged him in the back, I thought, in that marking contest.
But over the line in the right forward pocket. Melbourne in attack, but trailing by one straight kick. The Melbourne cheer squad here tonight. Steins in front. No real winner in that. Abernethy gets a hurried kick to the outer wing. Road, the spoiler from behind. Tregenza waiting down. Gets the hand pass away. A chance for Hodges. Oh, almost blows his head, but plays on sensibly. Kicks towards Hocking. Can't take the mark, the missile. Hart trying to spoon it back to accommodate Hocking. Clark was there, and it goes over the
Melbourne
line.
are in a reasonably fortunate position on the bench. I know Sean White hasn't had a good night up in the back line, but they can put him down forward, and he's done it in the past and kick goals. So if that big forward line doesn't work, they've got somebody in reserve, Melbourne.
Klug off to Filkey, then Tregenza. High kick, difficult one to mark. Coming over the top was Clark and hammering it over the line. But inside 50 now for the Crows. Goals hard to come by. Keogh's hurried kick goes straight to Tregenza. Simon pumps it in towards full forward once again. Oh! He can jump. Phoebe That was Jamison, who's booted 3 goals. Phoebe's kick goes out to the wing. Viney and Abernethy both pretty quick. Great duel.
Oh, well done, Todd Viney.
Beautifully to Bennett. 90 metres out. Still gets plenty of distance. In towards full forward. Steins, Cuthberts, and they're all there. But there's no one at the back. It's Lee defending and taking a short kick to the half-back flank where he finds Bruce Abernethy.
Abernethy, a class player. Finds Filkey. Now, Filkey can go wide. He's got a loose man out there in Marshall. Played a tremendous first half. Now he goes with a sweeping kick. He's found captain Chris McDermott. They want to get it moving quickly. Get it down to the forward line, and he does. He's found a loose man. He had 2 options in, and one of them was Hart.
That's not a good sign because they brought it with Scott Lee from the back line up to Hart, and not one Melbourne player was in cooey of their man. He's already kicked one Hart. That was earlier in this quarter. David Hart, former North Adelaide and Central District player.
Well, he's a very, very good kick for goal. There's a drop punt. It's close. In fact, it's through for a goal.
Just over 10 minutes remaining. The Crows open up a 2-goal break once more. Ford's kick is only short. Marshall more effective, long and penetrating. Inside 50, Jamison, claim, but he recovers well. Still going, he wants a hand pass. McGuinness, always a hard worker. Filkey gets it away. Marshall pulls it back with a left foot. Clever kick to Nigel Smart. Now Nigel Smart is going to have a shot 40 metres out directly in front.
An impressive player, Smart, although had a bit of problem in the second quarter with Owen, playing on the half-back line, but he is a lively type. South Adelaide player.
Directly in front. There's another one. The Crows are looking good. Nigel Smart gets his first, and the Crows 10-9 plays 7-9.
Well, is this the start of the crack? We're waiting for one team to crack because those players just could not keep up the pace the way they were going. And now they've got away by 18 points, 3 goals. Now can Melbourne catch them? They have in the past. It's going to be a big job for them.
Micken versus O'Dwyer. Micken with a big cut above the eye and blood streaming out of his eye. As you can see, his right eye. Hand pass to Filkey. Oh, they're looking good, Adelaide. The half forward, well taken by Hart. On to Marshall from the 50-metre line. Marshall to the pocket and a little bit wide. Now, was it out in the full? I don't think so. It'll be a throw in.
They're doing it a bit easy, aren't they, Peter, the Crows, the way they're getting the ball now?
Yep. It was anyone's game at half-time. Terrific second quarter by Melbourne. Over the back. Here's Nigel Smart around the corner on the right foot. Running back with the flight was Hodges. Could have beat him over the line. Good quarter so far by Adelaide. Getting it out of the centre, and they're working very, very hard. O'Dwyer versus Micken. Micken, the big left hand. Taps it up in front of goal. Hocking went in after it. Keogh was there, gets it to Lyon. Lyon from the back pocket. Ooh, went wide. Is that out in the full? The boundary umpire says it'll be a throw-in.
Tried to spot Beveridge with the ball, Gary Lyon.
Just over 8 minutes remaining in this vital third quarter. Advantage at the moment with the Crows. O'Dwyer and Micken lock arms. McDermott over the top. Micken quick to recover the big man. Finds David Marshall. Centering kick for the president. Libner.
Now he could kick this.
Well, he's a long kick, Don.
A prodigious kick of the football when he actually gets onto it, Peter.
Marshall's had a good night, hasn't he?
Oh, he's killed them.
So Libner from 55 metres. Oh, he's got onto that drop punt. What a kick!
Well, I think it's a matter now of Adelaide going on with this game. We've got loose men. They're prepared to play in front. Here's Marshall. Cuthbertson is Linda's opponent. You shouldn't allow your opponent to lead you for the ball. And that is a prodigious kick. 60 metres out, and it goes through by 10, so it's got to be at least 70 metres, that kick.
75 plays 51. Lindner again. His confidence is high. And he sends another long one down to the forward line. Jamison in front, unable to complete the mark. Hart and Smart are both there, so too is Liptak. Still going is Liptak. He's bundled out of the way by Brett Lovett, who spoons it out the back door, but straight to Liptak. Looks towards McGuinness, but he runs out of room. And we'll see a throw in on the outer side with under 7 minutes remaining.
Don, do you think they should use Cuthbertson more down the forward pocket? You've got to remember he kicked 7
but
or 7 and
he's
a 5.
He's been tagged out of the game, Pete, in the last couple of weeks. He's capable of coming into the game. They've put him on the wing, and he came into it a little bit. But he's really got to learn, like Lindner let him in for the ball. They're just not wanting the ball, Melbourne.
And here's Steins receiving that long hand pass from McDermott. The centre wing, Maynard, a good honest goer. Not spectacular, but effective. McDermott gave up that hand pass to Maynard. Maynard to the half-forward line, some pushing and shoving. But a good mark across the front by Spalding. On the road. Road wide. Oh, Tregenza. Good play, Tregenza. And the mark has been paid, but he did that well. He manoeuvred his body beautifully to take that mark. Danger period here. There's 6 minutes coming up for Melbourne. The Crows full of running. Tregenza up in front of goal. Jamison in front. Shoved out of it. And a good mark taken there by Steins. Over to Brett Lovett. Lovett the chip pass. Oh, it was meant for Keogh, and the ball runs end on end and beats Keogh over the line. And Melbourne looking a little bit tired at the moment, starting to make a few mistakes.
Don, is there anything in the bye?
Well, I suppose you can question it, Sandy. The West Coast are one team that came out of it, and also Essendon. They just got past Richmond in the first game, but other teams haven't really done well, have they? But then again, they're meeting a good side here tonight, Melbourne.
Spalding to Road. Looks for Dyson. Oh, Tregenza's with him, and he gets front spot. Pulls it round his body nicely. No one at home, however. Taken by Spalding. He's got to thread his way through the pack. Almost runs out of room. Lyon chips in, however. Picks it up now. Swings it round his body to Cuthbertson, who takes a good diving
Now
mark.
that's better. He's in front of Lindner on that occasion.
Cuthbertson's at half back. It's going to want a mighty quarter from Melbourne to come back. Bennett can't hold it again. Love it. Kick well smothered. That was by Maynard. Now McDermott. In towards full forward. The flyers. Hodgson, what a mark! Oh, what a streak!
And the crowd rises as one.
And should be playing at full forward. That's why he came from behind from the full forward area and took that big mark.
Deserves the goal, this one.
He's a good player, Hodges.
Here he is, the run, the set, up he goes.
40 metres out. Not a difficult angle. You've only got to listen to the crowd to know that he hasn't scored a goal.
His kicking at times is indifferent, isn't it?
Well, he's only kicked 10 goals for the season. You think he's the main focal, or should be the main focal point?
Don, the guy kicked 150 over here, and he's had a knee operation. Half back for Melbourne. Todd Viney working very, very hard. Brett Lovett ran past the ball. Look at Viney in after it again. Beautifully done, Marshall. The chip pass was meant for Tregenza. Taken away by Lyon. Gary Lyon to the half-forward line. They need a goal. They need a couple of goals, in fact. Over the back. Bickley. He's played well. Maynard. Tregenza. Well, a very, very slick hand pass. That one to Tony McGuinness. McGuinness looking for Lindner. Over the back, Lyon having a good quarter. Gary Lyon, or the short one, comes off, and he's found Todd Viney, centre of the ground. Just over 3 minutes of play left in the third quarter. The hand pass to the running Stein. Stein sets it up for his forwards, the long bomb in towards full forward. They need O'Dwyer to take a mark. He can't do so. Liptak gets it out wide. Abernathy will take it towards the line, and that's very, very good defensive play by Bruce Abernathy. Formerly played with North Melbourne, then had a stint at Collingwood, and now back in South Australia.
Under 3 minutes remaining. Critical time, particularly for Melbourne. Beveridge in front, claimed by McGuinness. Been inspirational. Forward to Jackson. O'Dwyer. Another one by O'Dwyer. Only a short kick. McGuinness again. He's got run in his legs. He could go for days. Lindner. Back again to guess who. McGuinness kicks over centre wing. They are on fire now. Eddie Hocking. Don't they love him? But they want you to get on with it, Eddie. He goes long to half forward, straight towards Steins, however. Couldn't complete the mark. McDermott on all fours. Comes out to Peter Road, gets the hand pass across to Viney. Almost claimed by Hart, but he gets his kick. Abernethy will be one of the flyers. Micken is also there. Spots McGuinness out the corner of his eye. And away they go again. Pump wide towards Hocking.
Well done, Clark.
And over the line.
And Sean White about to come on for Melbourne, so they're going to pull a change. I can't see what the runner is actually doing at this stage. He's talking to Todd Viney, maybe Rod Keogh.
Steins with strength pushes his opponent out of the way, but his kick is poorly directed. Taken by Abernethy again. Off to Tregenza. Shrugs the tackle of Keogh. Goes long in towards half forward. Hocking scouting. Danger here. Eddie Hocking. Where can you go, Eddie? Eventually he gives it off to Micken and straight back to Eddie. You're still in strife. He shrugs the tackle. He step passes into the forward line. And that's why they love him.
And Sean White comes on as Hart takes a mark from a beautiful pass from Hocking.
I've never seen a bloke so idolised as over here.
You're loving this, aren't you?
Little Hocking. Oh.
Hart from 40 metres. Oh, kick looks good off the boot. Just shaving the post almost one line.
See, that could have been a sealer.
Would have made it very difficult.
He doesn't normally miss either, Hart.
As it is, they need 5 goals now to hit the front. Melbourne.
Peter Road to the half-back line. Oh, look at this. He's found out Lindner. Now, this could be dangerous. Lindner, well, if he goes
he did
before,
before, didn't he?
Well,
There was a drop punt before.
yeah,
Pete.
but if he goes for a torpedo,
What'll happen? You'll put
if
it
he
in.
gets onto it, now what's he going for? It looks like the drop punt. Well, he is a prodigious kicker. He'd have to kick this 56 metres. Yes, Don, not 55, 56. And look, well, the time clock ticking down will be the last kick of the quarter. Let's see if he gets onto a drop punt. It's a high float. It won't quite make the distance. There's the siren. And now, will that be paid a point? Let's see.
Yes.
Yes, it is paid. So, right on three-quarter time and behind, to Adelaide, takes the score under 11-12-78, leading Melbourne 7-9-51.
In front here at Football Park as we go into the final quarter. Micken with the left hand. They get the first goal here. It'll just about be good night nurse. Micken again spoons it out. He's been a very hard worker. McDermott, look at him. Off to Micken. Down towards half forward. Hocking. Not paid the mark. Was held. Quickly onto the 50-metre line and a diving attempt by Lindner. Not paid. Play on calls the umpire and it's taken over the line. Lindner turns and looks in despair.
Gary Lyon at centre half forward for Melbourne. Sean White half forward flank.
Inside 50 now for the Crows. Steins front spot. Clark caught at the back. Forward claim. Ball spills free. McGuinness couldn't take it, and again it drifts over the line.
Darren Bennett at full forward. And Steve O'Dwyer in the pocket.
Steins versus Micken. Steins taps it down with the left hand. There's Brett Lovett trying to get in a hand pass. Cuthbertson straight to Hocking. Here's danger. Lip tack. Tries to tunnel ball it. Almost threw it. Kicked away by Stephen Clark. Now it's Phoebe. Lindner. Marshall. Now he's lying on top of the ball, but the umpire says all players were over it. There'll be a bounce almost on centre wing. Crows have looked the better side all night. They lead 11-12 to 7-9. Spirit had come back in the second quarter by Melbourne. That's been their best. But then a very good third quarter. You see the umpire talking to Micken and Steins. And they're both trying to push and shove. And I should give him a lesson in ruck play there. Now he might give a free kick here. Micken. McDermott been very impressive. Marshall.
Put him into trouble.
Ran into a brick wall then. Hocking. The miraculous goal in the third quarter. And, well, it looks as though he's carrying a couple of extra pounds too, little Eddie. The Scud missile. Steins gets it down. That's McGuinness. They've tried to tag him tonight, but he's played well. McGuinness to the half-forward line. It's all the Crows as Hocking takes the mark. Now he's going short to the pocket, looking for his captain, Chris McDermott. He'll come back onto the right foot. McDermott sets it up in front of goal for someone to take a mark. Here they come from behind. The Flyers are there. Hart goes in after it. Was he grabbed? Taps it back into play, but it was over the line, so it'll be a throw-in deep in that forward pocket for the Crows.
22 minutes remaining, 27 points the margin. Steins and Micken to do battle once again. Smart. Steins in front, plucks it out of the air. They desperately want goals. Beveridge in trouble. Spoons it out, but straight to Jamison. Kick in towards Hodges. Well, we're seeing now his marking power, Donald.
Yes, strong mark. A strong mark. There he is. He certainly has got a leap. He's been jumping high tonight.
This for his second goal. He kicked one in the second quarter. 20 metres out directly in front. And there's one that's going to make it hard for Melbourne.
Yes, well, that break in the third quarter, the 3 goals, I think it was a turning point, or was the turning point. They've gone further ahead now. 33 points, and it doesn't look good for Melbourne. They've pulled a number of changes, Melbourne, but the Crows, they're wanting the ball. They're still enthusiastic.
(12-12) plays 7-9. Scott Hodges back in his rightful place at full forward when he took that mark. And a very good mark it was too. Centre of the ground is Sean White.
No bite.
No bite from Don Scott. There's Dyson with a quick kick to the half-forward line. Oh, bad bounce for the Demons. Lyon trying to show his class. Scott Lee, cleverly to Maynard. They're two good workhorses, those two. And here comes the cult hero, Eddie Hocking, to the half-forward line. Nigel Smart at the back has got it. Oh, brilliantly done. Waves off a hand pass. Look back to Hart. Hart a quick kick. Now, which way will it bounce? Peter Rode runs straight at the ball. Well done by Scott Hodges to bring him down. Brett Lovett. Quick kick, finds Grinter. Melbourne in trouble. Grinter to centre wing. Lee. Ford Hartford. Here's McGuinness. A 20-metre hand pass to Marshall. Marshall swings onto the left foot. Kicks it up high. A chance for the Flyers. Up they go. Little tack. Grabbed high. It'll be a free kick. Now he went in after the ball.
Now there's a Melbourne player down too. Is that Steins? He's getting to his feet.
Well,
Ball to the ground, and you watch Liptak. He did this well last week, got under the pack, but then had his head taken off by Grinter.
Matthew Liptak, a medical student apparently, has taken time off for 12 months to have a go at AFL football. Now, third-year medical student. In fact, now he'll kick from 35 metres. Oh, they tell me he's not a great kick. Well, there's proof. Right through the middle of the behinds.
But one thing going for him, he wants the ball, Peter.
What's that?
And if you want the ball, you'll exist in football.
Well, he's a little
goer.
goer.
Work on his kicking.
There's Grinter. For the half-back line, Sean White will be the flyer, and he marks.
At half-back, off to Viney. Phoebe on centre wing. Towards Dyson.
Who's being held, Dyson.
And he's got to beat 2 of them. He locks it up. Lee and Maynard both there. So a bounce 70 metres out from the Melbourne scoring zone, and they've found scoring difficult tonight. 1 goal in the first term, 4 in the second, and just 2 in the third. And still to score in this final quarter. Libner to Filkey, a little too far. Viney overruns it also. Jackson backpedaling to line.
poor kick. Look, three Crows.
Look at
three.
Micken, Lidner and Filthy all there, and they might muck it up. Viney. In towards full forward. One-hander by Darren Bennett.
That was a good mark, and he should have been given the free kick because Hughes had hold of him when he was going for the ball or trying to mark it. Now watch this. There's Hughes holding on. Look, the other hand goes across by Hughes. He should have been awarded the free kick if he hadn't taken that mark.
Darren Bennett, just the one goal so far tonight. That was kicked in the second quarter. 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. Oh, it's close, but I think he may have just snuck it home. He has.
Well, Darren Bennett, not much reaction from the crowd. His 35th goal of the season. He's averaged, since coming to Melbourne, 3.5 goals a game. It's not a bad effort for a full forward. But he's shown tonight he can get his hands to the ball. He started to take a few marks later on the game. Had he have taken them earlier, could have been a different result.
.28 points the margin. Micken, he's done a good job of those centre bounces. There's Liptak again. He was looking for Bruce Lindner. He's found him. On to Scott Lee, lead of the half-forward line. Dermott sets himself in front. Hocking is there for the Crows. Taken away by Steve Clark to Phoebe. Phoebe, a bit of a wrestle going on behind the play. Is there one play? And the emergency umpires come out to speak to someone. And is that a report? Yes, Stephen Clark has been reported, I would think, on Filthy. And that's the emergency umpire. Had a good view of that. Now, Keogh to the half-forward line. Thumped over the back. Tregenza kicks it wide and out of bounds on the full.
What do you think Clark was reported for, Peter?
I didn't see it, Don. Did you? Jackson goes short. Gary Lyon a diving mark, and he will kick the goal from about 25 to 30 metres. Now the Crows would not want to relax because Melbourne might be able to sneak back into it. A goal here would make it 3 goals for the difference and plenty of time. Gary Lyon, if ever the Demons needed a goal, it's right now. Started at centre-half back, now playing on the forward line, Gary Lyon. 45-degree angle. He lopes in, kicks good hard at goal. Beautiful kick right through the middle. First goal of the game to Gary Lyon, and the Demons creep closer. 9-9 plays 12-13.
Well, I was watching Lyon early in the last quarter, and I just thought to myself, isn't he a class player? If you had a team of Gary Lyons, you'd win premierships year after year. He's not a dirty player, but he certainly does put himself in. He's aggressive for the ball. And he can play both ends of the ground, now on the ball.
So to Steins up against Micken. It's won by the latter. Melbourne are not out of this yet. Viney's kick wide to the right half-forward flank. Dyson gets a cruel bounce, but he does well. Shrugs the tackle eventually. Sends his side deep into attack. They want to mark here badly. Lindner comes in from the side for an effective spoil. Micken could have been held. Lindner soccers off the ground and gathers distance, but straight to Clark, who dashes through.
Well done, Clark.
Applies the tackle to Maynard, but he still gets the ball away to McGuinness. Off again to Marshall, and the Crows out of trouble. Going up over centre wing, and a quick mark taken by Nigel Smart. Thought about the hand pass to McDermott. Now plays on and gives it to Marshall. To half forward he goes. Well, he's got confidence now, Hodges, but he had a tunnel there, and no one came into it.
That's exactly right. Not one Melbourne player went on that occasion. We saw that with Sean White early in the second quarter. Melbourne just don't want the ball.
Hodges for number 3.
That was a confident kick for goal, wasn't it?
Beautiful kick, but
50 metres out, and his confidence certainly is rising. He's taken a few big marks tonight, and that was a kick of a man coming into confidence.
Well, it actually hit the post, that ball, in the end, as Grinter brings it back into play to the half-back line. Spalding in front. Big fly over the back was by Tregenza. Here's Smart with a hand pass to Lindner. He's caught in the tackle. Spalding He's tried very, very hard, Earl Spalding. Oh, wild hand pass. Lyon. Is that a free kick against McDermott? I think it is. And that could be 50. No, the 50 not paid. The free kick is. Gary Lyon went in hard after that ball. Lyon right out wide. He's got a loose man in Keogh. Rod Keogh takes the mark. The boy from Castlemaine. An old gold mining town. To the half-forward line. Maynard couldn't take it. Here's Luke Beveridge to an open goal. Now, which way will it bounce? It's still back in play, and Bickley takes it to the line, and in fact takes it over the line and through for a behind as he put it in for touch. 12-14 plays 9-10, so they're hanging in there, Melbourne. Stephen Clark apparently reported for unduly rough play.
Well, I'd say he's lucky.
Kicked back into play by Danny Hughes. Finds Maynard. Off they go again. Tregenz's kick towards centre wing. Hocking, was he held? Yes, he was. Eddie Hocking. Called to play on now. Poor kick. Micken tried to spoon it back to him. Clark. Marshall. Phoebe. Keogh applies the tackle. It's a good one. One that doesn't please this big crowd. Keogh at centre wing. Long looping hand pass to Gary Lyon. Lovely kick.
Good kick. Good kick.
He's classy,
isn't he? He's just a good player, isn't he? Clued coming on. Liptak off for the Crows, and in the hands of the Melbourne doctor is Luke Beveridge. No, it's Stephen Phoebe.
And I'm afraid Sean White for Melbourne fans has missed one behind.
Looks like Phoebe's got problems with the ribs. He's going on.
Well, they're going to leave fairly battle-scarred, aren't they? With Rodney Owen leading the way with that knee. Very bad news for Melbourne. And it will drop them down on the ladder. A loss tonight. This is David Marshall. He's had a wonderful night. Where's Hodges? Oh, he thought about it and then left it for Filkey. McDermott will have a shot 45 metres out, almost directly in front.
Played well. Played a great game, Chris McDermott.
McDermott, Marshall, McGuinness, all been inspiring. With a face like hanging rock, but he's very, very effective. And there's another one. They're home.
The Adelaide Crows lead by 27 points. Mark Micken. Had a great year for the Crows. Against Steve O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer taps at the Lion. Lion to the half-forward line. They need a couple of quick goals. There's Keogh battling hard. Jackson to Dyson. Crows everywhere. McGuinness. Beautiful kick because he kicks it out the half-back line. A very good defensive kick, that one by Tony McGuinness.
He's done well, McGuinness, hasn't he?
Well, he's a hard man to tag.
Ford tagging him, but he's just led him to the ball.
Well, he's a great player, McGuinness. Footscray certainly missed him.
I think he's a better player here than what he was at Footscray last year.
Micken again gets it. Maynard to Lee. Lee round the boundary line. Phoebe was there,
holding the man.
And eventually it's forced over the line. McDermott was appealing for the free kick.
Should have got it too.
Be a throw in at half forward for Melbourne. They badly need a couple of quick ones. O'Dwyer been quiet, taps it over the back. Steins. There's a couple of running players. Viney. Oh, great dispossession, that one. That was a terrific play by Scott Lee.
And he's hurt himself too, but he's not showing it. He got up holding the left arm.
Throw in. Sean White over the top. Pushes down in front. Lee again in the thick of things. Couldn't take it cleanly, and it was over the line. Inside 50 now, and with under 11 minutes remaining. Keogh flicks it back. Still with Keogh.
Keogh's injured.
4 Crows and 2 Demons in that exchange. Lidner tackled a smidgen high. Plays on. They can just run the ball right down the ground now. Although Bickley's hand pass had a question mark over it. O'Dwyer can't take it. Bickley does it again. He gets him going. Clune just outside 50. Set sail for home. Long kick by John Clune. Hunters! Plays on. The Scud missile. Centering kick. Clever kick. And he could have taken his choice. There were 2 or 3 there. But he's elected Simon Tregenza. Coming into this game as the club's leading kick getter for the year with 132, and he's picked up plenty tonight. This for his first goal. And he's missed.
It's a bad miss. Bad miss. The average is about 16 to 17 kicks a game. Tregenza had a good game last week.
That's total rejection. Or dejection, I should say. But, well, I think they should realise the game has been almost over. There he is. He's going to try and make up for it. Tregenza on to Smart. Smart to the pocket. Now, there's a leading player out there. Oh, a good mark. The lead was by Jamison. Mark taken
Jamison
by
was by himself. Grinter gave him 10 metres on that occasion.
Rodney Grinter, a short one to Peter Road. And he wants to play on Road. Now he does. And kicks it to centre wing. Lindner is the flyer at the back. Dyson. Brett Lovett's had a quiet night. Todd Viney has tried very, very hard. That's Phoebe to the half-forward line. Spalding, the flyer at the back. A good attempt, but he couldn't take it. Players pounce it on top of it. And it will be a bounce half-forward for Melbourne. Danny Hughes. He's had a good, solid game. He's done his job. Kept Bennett fairly quiet. There's the Melbourne bench looking very, very dejected.
28 points the margin. As well they might. Lyon plucks it out of the air, gets a hurry kick down towards full forward. Bennett and Hughes. The 2 number 19s go for it. And it's Hughes who sees it safely over the line. Comes up holding the shoulder. He'll be pleased to be back in this outfit, however, playing against his old club. Had 124 games with Melbourne. Dyson gave it to Jackson, who's ridden over the boundary line.
Good tackle. A good tackle. Yeah, it's Bickley that laid the tackle.
He's played well, Don.
He's a solid player. He's not a bad player. Bickley, a rover from South Adelaide.
Micken, but straight to Dyson. A real up and under. Difficult one to grab. McGuinness still working hard at the bottom of the pack. Lidner soccers off the ground, but straight to Keogh. He shrugs one tackle, gets it off to Phoebe. Phoebe's kick slews off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full.
And Bickley from South Adelaide gone. He's not going to make
what?
We've just learnt that the official crowd here at Football Park is just over 43,000. So that's probably the second biggest crowd they've had here this year.
I'm very pleased to know South Adelaide are producing good footballers. Because
second on the ladder now.
Well, they've improved, haven't they, since a few years back?
You've almost broken the man. Look at him.
Towards half forward. Melbourne going forward. This is Beveridge receiving from Jackson. Oh, shocker. Look at that for a kick. And the whole Adelaide crowd roar with delight. And there's some happy ladies in the front row. And this man has been great again, Tony McGuinness.
They do love their footy, Pete, because 43,000 here tonight, and they'll probably pack it out again on Tuesday night.
That's right. 17, probably the same faces will be here again Tuesday night. 17 and 12, McGuinness. What a great night he's had. There's Marshall, probably best man on the ground in the first half. Brett Lovett, as I said, has been fairly quiet. The chip pass has found Beveridge. On he goes to Lyon. Now let's see what this class player does. 55 metres out, Gary Lyon. Beautiful long kick. And it has just missed. One behind the Melbourne. He's not happy. 6 minutes of play left. And the Crows, a very impressive victory coming up.
To the outer side. And a good mark taken by Jackson. Started the night on the bench. He's come onto the ground. But it's been pretty tough for the Demons. Viney wants to do it on his own. Good-looking shot at goal. He's kicked one. Todd Viney gets his first, and it is Melbourne's 10th. 10-12 plays 13-15.
Well, he's number 3 in the AFL, Viney, as far as kicks go. He averages about 20 kicks a game. Although he's tried hard tonight, I wonder whether he's up to his average. Usually notches up to about 26 possessions in all. That's his first goal, Viney.
Steve O'Dwyer races in against Micken. Micken gets his hand to that ball. McDermott again out of the centre. Kicked wide. Tregenza's the racehorse. Simon Tregenza certainly got plenty of pace. There's that man again. They haven't been able to control him. Tony McGuinness, beautiful pass to Klug. Now let's see if he'll look for Hodges. Hodges going back, swooping at the back. Now Klug will kick the high bomb right up to the pocket. McIntyre is there. Punched by Sean White over the line. And it'll be a throw-in deep in that forward pocket. Thought he took too long then, Klug, and went for that long. Should have kicked a drop punt to his forwards. McIntyre to do the ruck work against Steve O'Dwyer, who's had a quiet night. Tap down the ground. Players in after it. It'll be a bounce. No, it won't. Yes, it will be now. So a bounce to take place about 20 metres out from the Crows' goal.
And some of the crowd sensing that the Crows are home, leaving Football Park. As Peter said, they'll probably be back on Tuesday night for the big clash, which of course you'll see on 7. And if you're watching, don't forget, check your local guides. Grinter to Lovett. Glenn Lovett not playing tonight. Lidner back into McDermott. Crowd did not appreciate. Beveridge trying to flick back. McDermott takes it. Tregenza, short kick, Hart, right on the boundary line. And just outside 50. Former North skipper. The handball over the top. Catches Micken, but he is able to go short and find Klug. So John Klug hasn't kicked a goal tonight.
He's been on the bench for a while, hasn't he?
He's on the bench for a quarter, the third quarter. Gary Lyon started to come back into the game in that quarter.
So Klug for his first from 40 metres. Drop punt's on its way. Hits the post. (13-16) plays 10-12. So this will mean that the Crows will keep their finals hopes alive as Phoebe runs through half-back. Kicks in towards the middle. Keogh a chance. Can't get there in time. Lidner shows dash. Bruce Lidner's long penetrating kick goes back up towards the half-forward line. No mark taken. Clark trying to give it off to Lovett is successful. He in turn finds Rod Grinter, who kicks up towards Keogh territory on the half-forward flank. Rod Keogh.
He's a good sportsman, McDermott, isn't he?
To send Melbourne forward. In fact, there goes the long way home, giving it to Gary Lyon. The long hand pass across the top to Viney, and may get out of it. Phoebe, O'Dwyer, Dyson inside 50, shrugs one tackle, spins round onto the left foot with a high kick in towards the square, in fact across it. No mark taken. Spalding pulled off the ball as he went to take his kick. Eventually it's Lee who gets it out. They're out of trouble once again. Bickley sends them on their way to McGuinness. The pair combine, and they're out of strike to McDermott.
Oh, that's great play. Back to Bickley from Chris McDermott. Beautiful pass. This is good play. Darryl Hart, the long kick. In towards full forward. The leading player is McIntyre. Peter McIntyre. Now he's off. Brings it up in front of goal. Over the back. Hodges. Left foot. Goal. Scott Hodges has kicked his third. And the Crows career away. 14-16 to 10-12.
Well, they did well in front. I was impressed with the way the Crows got that out of the back line. Scott Lee, a very, very solid player. A lot of desperation leading up to where he got the ball. And then they just ran it out beautifully around that centre wing. There's just holes everywhere, and McIntyre, a strong lead. He's a fresh player off the bench replacing Jamison, and he's kicked his third Hodges.
Under 2 minutes remaining. And this is going to be a big victory for the Crows. McDermott again pumps them out of the centre, but it comes wide. Hocking. Oh, this will get Peter McKenna going. Eddie Hocking kicks in towards the half-forward line. No mark taken by Hart. Hodges there applying the pressure, and Rhodes under plenty of it. Gets it across to Phoebe. Hugging the boundary line. He comes in towards the middle. McDermott gets a bad bounce. So too O'Dwyer. The big man tries to shovel it forward to accommodate his teammate in Spalding, but they lose out. Tregenza and Filkey combined. Stabbing down towards the half-forward line. McIntyre got it away back to Filkey. Still outside 50. He goes short to Hart. He's inside 50 with a minute remaining. The lead is 28 points. At three-quarter time, the lead was 27 points. Hart booted 2 in the third quarter. David Marshall's going to get into the action now. He booted 1 in the first term.
Can't understand it, can you, Peter? Marking, it's bad marking. I think they've thrown it in. Melbourne. They have thrown it in.
But he was tremendous early. He set them alight early, didn't he?
Had
really,
a fantastic
Marshall.
First half.
Yeah.
First quarter, sensation.
That's when he kicked his first goal, and that's his second. Peter Marshall. And the Crows delighted as the chant goes up around Football Park. 14-16 plays 10-12. We've only got 5 seconds left.
And David Marshall, who had a terrific first quarter. An interesting battle between he and Keogh about honours.
Who did we call him?
Peter.
Unbelievable. Into the middle. 4 seconds remaining. Steins and Micken. Thrown forward, but it doesn't matter. Listen to this crowd. They're tough to beat here. But a great win for the Adelaide Crows. Tony McGuinness, David Marshall, Peter Marshall not playing tonight. Grant Filkey, Mark Micken can all celebrate. Bruce Abernethy, and you can see the Demons, heads held low, leaving this arena. The final scoreline here at Football Park shows Adelaide 15-16, 106. And of those, Scott Hodges booted 3, Darryl Hart booted 2, and Rod Jamison also kicked 3 goals. Melbourne's final score was 10-12, 72. And their main contributors were Darren Bennett with 2. Stephen Phoebe also kicked 2 goals.
Well, it was a great performance that by the Crows. They were the better side all night. There's Scott Hodges coming up and showed a lot of form in the second half, but team effort, and it started from the centre bounce where Mark Micken, McDermott and McGuinness, they couldn't control McGuinness all night. Look at and Chris McDermott there. Well, he was criticised earlier in the year, but I've seen his last 2 games and they've been outstanding. He works hard all the time, but it was a real team effort. I thought Danny Hughes did the job down there on Bennett. Melbourne's forward line was very, very disappointing. And all in all, the Crows proved once again they're going to be very, very hard to beat here at the Westlake Stadium.
So just repeating the final scoreline here at Football Park, which is in West Lakes. Adelaide 15-16, Melbourne 10-12.
Crows just managed to get on with the game, and Melbourne started playing catch-up football and looked as if they might catch them, because at half-time they're only 9 points behind, but then there were 3 goals kicked early in the third, or getting, I suppose, the middle of the third quarter there, and it looked as if the Crows were going to go on, and I believe that was a turning point of the game. And then it was just a matter of how far the Crows, because they had loose men running everywhere. A lot of Melbourne guys just didn't concentrate, and some of them really did go missing tonight.
The smaller running players, do you think, did the damage early, particularly players the calibre of Marshall?
Well, Marshall, I thought it was an interesting battle between he and Keogh in the first quarter. I had Marshall as a good player, and I put a question mark beside Keogh because I thought he was a reasonable player too. Picked up a lot of possessions. They may have played wide of one another, but McGuinness I thought was a good player. He had Ford tagging, but Ford just ran second, let McGuinness lead him to the ball. But both sides, I thought, their forwards, in the first half, their play was terrific. It was real pressure football. It was an entertaining game of football because of the competitiveness of it. And it was a matter, and we mentioned through commentary, who was going to crack first at half-time. And it was Melbourne that cracked. And that pressure that the Crows exerted, well, someone just had to give. And they're not over-endowed with skill, the Crows, but they've got tremendous enthusiasm. Last week they showed it against North Melbourne, although they were blitzed against St Kilda, but, they really play with some feeling over here.
So, Don, firstly, how far do you think the Crows can go?
I think they'll be middle of the list, Sandy, because, they've got to travel. They don't travel all that well, although they've won up in Sydney and... but they are an enthusiastic mob, and I think it'll be a couple of years. They'll be some of the West Coast.
And secondly, does this place a question mark over Melbourne?
Well, I suppose you can say that.
They were second on the ladder.
Well, you can also say they had the bye. I know that, and Melbourne have put up good performances because early on in the season they were 1 out of 2 wins, or 1 out of 3, I think it was, and they had really hard games coming up at that stage, and it didn't look good because they could have gone in 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6. But they won those games, and they really have put them together well. They've really fired up on their forward line. They've got more points than anybody else. And I think the loss of Owen just at half-time, just before half-time, because he was one player in the second quarter that really did bring them into the game. Tremendous courage, and he was another focal point, or somebody on that half-forward line that could give them a little bit of bite. And when he went off, they really had to shuffle their team around. Sean White had a dirty night down back, and other guys just weren't there when the chips were down.
Let's have a look at the stats now.
Well, they should all go Adelaide's way, and yes, they do as far as possessions go. 228, 132.
They're doing everything.
Well, they do, and just about, you're right, Sandy, a quick look down that. And they won it out of the centre because they just wanted the ball a little bit more, didn't they?
All right, then. Well, let's look at the stats, which, of course, go the way of the Adelaide Crows. Perhaps a little ironic that each week we look at one of the clubs in the AFL. This week it just happens to be, despite their loss, the Melbourne club.
Melbourne's first flag came at the turn of the century, but the Demons had to wait another 26 years before their next, when they became the only side until North Melbourne in 1975 to win the premiership from third spot. 1926 was also notable for the club because Ivor Warne-Smith won the first of 2 Brownlow medals. Melbourne enjoyed a golden era between 1939 and 41 when it won a hat-trick of flags. In the 1940 match, legendary Demon Norm Smith kicked 7 goals. Essendon thrashed the Demons in the 1946 Grand Final, and in 1948 the same 2 teams took part in the VFL's first tied Grand Final. In the replay, Melbourne adapted better to the difficult conditions to win its 6th premiership. With Norm Smith as coach, the Demons blossomed into the most dominant football team in league history. Between 1954 and 1960 inclusive, Melbourne, with the likes of Ron Barassi inspiring his teammates, played in every grand final, winning an incredible 5 flags. In the 1964 grand final, a thrilling goal by Collingwood ruckman Ray Gavalik put the Pies in front of their arch-rival. But Demon fullback Neil Crompton, who'd followed his rover down the field, kicked his first goal of the season to snatch an unlikely victory from the Pies. But after dominating the competition like few teams before them, the Demons suddenly found themselves in the wilderness. For the next 25 years, the club mostly struggled, even though Melbourne recruited expensive players like Diamond Jim Tilbrook from South Australia and Big Carl Ditterich from St Kilda. It wasn't until 1987 that the Demons next contested a final series, the first in which brilliant skipper Robert Flower in his last season had played. The Demons charged into the preliminary final after thrashing North Melbourne and the Swans. And in the dying minutes of the match against Hawthorn, Melbourne looked assured of its first grand final since 1964. But Hawthorn's Gary Buckenara, aided by a 15-metre penalty, crushed the Demons' hopes.
He is a champion. He is a great kick. If he kicks his goal, Hawthorn are in the grand final.
The umpires haven't heard it yet, I don't think.
If he kicks his goal, Hawthorn are in the 1987 grand final. If he misses, Melbourne are in. There's the kick. It's a goal. It's a goal. Hawthorn have won with a kick after the siren.
The following year, the Demons made the grand final from the elimination final. But it was again Hawthorn who snuffed out the fairy tale, thrashing Melbourne by 96 points. The club has finished fourth in the past 2 seasons, but a great start to this year may see Melbourne take that extra step.
Last week was such a contrast. I guess it was so pleasing for us to play well and attack the footy, but to lose the way we did ruined the whole night for us. And for the boys to come back and play as well as they did tonight and sustain it for 4 quarters was fantastic. And everybody contributed, did their bit, and certainly good to beat Melbourne, who are certainly a good side, that's for sure.
Well, Scott Hodges tonight showed a little promise compared with the way he's played over the last couple of weeks. He got a bit of confidence back tonight, do you feel, Chris?
Oh, certainly. He got a bit of that last week, although it mightn't have looked like it. He started to catch the footy and just started to find a little bit last week, and we were confident he'd go well tonight, and the ball stuck as it would, and the difference between playing well and playing badly is probably 1 catch or 1 goal for a full forward, and he found his feet tonight and just gives us something to aim at, and it was great for him.
What about you? Did you find a little life in the legs tonight, or find some life during the week after last week?
Oh, certainly. My form's been pretty disappointing this year, and certainly to get a few kicks and contribute to the win was pleasing.
Okay, what about the finals? Do you still believe you're a definite chance to make it to that 6?
Oh, you've got to give yourself a chance. Once it's mathematically possible to make it, you're always a chance. And we've set our own goals this year. Obviously, we aim to win at home, where I guess we should, and certainly win a few away. And certainly we haven't given up hope of making the finals. There's a long way to go, and next week's another week. We've got Geelong at Geelong. That'll be no pushover, but it's important for us now that we win a couple of games in a row and get a bit of momentum.
Well, just tell me a little bit more about Eddie Hocking. We asked him to do the interview, but he refused. Now, he's a bit of a character on the field, but trying to get an interview out of Eddie's pretty difficult. Very
quiet lad, Eddie. Doesn't like to say much, and leaves us talking on the footy field. And I guess Eddie's been down in form and confidence the last month, I suppose, and found a little bit in the local comp last week, and it's hard for him coming off the bench, and he's expected to ignite the side when he comes on immediately, and if he doesn't, he's deemed to have failed. Now, it's not an easy role to play, and tonight he just probably relaxed a little bit. He's been under a bit of pressure and did the things we know Eddie Hocking can do, and the goals he kicked, and just his energy around the ground is uplifting for all the blokes, and it was good to see him contribute as well.
Okay, looking to next week, Adelaide's got a bit of a name at the moment for playing at home and night football. Cardinia Park, that's going to be tough.
Certainly Geelong at Cardinia Park is a tough game, but anyone's beatable on the day, and if we play the way we played tonight, hit the footy and hit the play with the footy like we did, then we're a chance to beat anybody.
Well, what did Graham say to you before the game? Obviously it must have been similar to last week, but what was the preparation and build-up to tonight's performance?
Certainly, I guess it was a little worrying. There was obviously a letdown after last week because we did play so well, and we just had to concentrate on getting ourselves up. The pre-match was very concentrated in making sure we're all up and ready for the game, and against a side so good as Melbourne, it's important to start well, which we did, and I guess we haven't been doing lately. So the start was very important, and just that if we all continue to hit the footy hard and get hold of it first time, then eventually things would work for us, and we'd win a game if we could sustain it for 4 quarters, which we did tonight. Our fitness was very good, and we're all pretty confident that we can run the games out.
I tell you what, you're a better talker than what you were about 2 years ago. Okay, mate, congratulations, Chris, a great captain's game.
Thanks, mate. Tough.
You're a tough man, Max Stevens. Yes, let's have a look at his stats, Don.
Yes, 17 and 14. He usually averages about 12 handballs, so he's well up there. He's one of the leading handball exponents in the AFL, and his 1 goal in the last quarter is a solid effort. 31 possessions, not a bad effort for a ruck rover.
Gary Lyon, you used the word class during the call, and he certainly does ooze that.
Yes, I thought he started a little slower. Klug was on top, and I thought, Lyon started to come back into the second quarter. I don't know why Klug went off, but then Lyon went up forward, and you can see there he's finished with 19, 12. That's 31 possessions and a 1 goal. He is a good player.
David Marshall, he was the one that really got them going. Look at that, 15 kicks in the first half.
Yes, that's fantastic effort. I would have liked to have seen Keogh's stats too also in that half, because they started on one another on the wing, but Keogh went off or was taken off, and he continued on his way, didn't he? 28 kicks, it's 33 possessions, and it's a great effort. 1 goal in the first and 1 in the last. 2 goals, not a bad effort for a wingman.
one of the real battlers for Melbourne. He tried his heart out, was Earl Spalding.
Yes, he did, Earl, and again he started up forward, went down back, although he didn't really get much of a possession in the last quarter. I thought he really did try hard. He's got tremendous courage in throwing himself at the ball for a mark. He really goes up with reckless abandon.
Time now to check the CUB AFL 1991 Premiership Season League ladder.
Yes, let's now have a look at the ladder. Of course, with just the one game played, but as you can see, Adelaide keep in touch with clubs the calibre of Carlton and Footscray. Carlton has the bye and Footscray plays North Melbourne, but have a look up in the top half of the ladder and Melbourne dropping down. They are now in fourth spot with the West Coast on top, Essendon, St Kilda and then Melbourne, and then comes Hawthorn and Geelong. So Essendon and St Kilda to battle it out tomorrow for second spot on the ladder. That draw that St Kilda had earlier on in the year may prove very valuable as the season goes on. David Marshall picked up 15 kicks in the first half and he really was inspirational for the Adelaide Crows. Here he is with Max.
Well, David, there we're on. Congratulations, a fine effort. Now, I know you don't like harping on it, but you're one of the senior players, many games with Glenelg. You must be happy with the way you're playing.
Oh, it was a good effort tonight. I can't say I've been playing that well up to tonight, but it was nice to get a few kicks again there.
Well, tell me, many people find it hard to believe that you were never approached by a VFL or AFL side until the Crows came up.
Oh, no, I mean, there's heaps of other better players around that are quicker and flashier, so, you know, they tend to probably pick those sort of players, but it's just great to be part of it now, and it was good to have a win tonight.
Well, as I said to Chris McDermott before, they're branding Adelaide as sort of a night football, home football side. How's that going to change, or is Cornsey working on that to make that change?
Oh, no, I think we looked at the start of the year and realised that we had to win most of our home games, and as it happened, we've played 3 at night, I think, and we've just been lucky enough to win them. So, we've got a lot of smaller players, good running players, and handled the night conditions very well.
OK, mate, well, that was a sensational effort by the team and you personally. And next week, just quickly, Cardinia Park?
Yeah, well, they'll be obviously hard to beat down there, but we'll be out there having a go and giving it our best shot.
OK, thanks very much, David Marshall. A sensational effort tonight.
Thanks, Max.
Yes, let's now have a look ahead because it certainly is a big week of football. On Tuesday, we've got the 2 state games. Tasmania, Victoria, South Australia, Victoria. Donald, firstly, Tasmania, Victoria, who do you think?
Well, in both instances, Sandy, I would have gone for Victoria, but look, we had an injury tonight to Rod Owen, who was in the state squad, so injuries are going to really play a big part. Had everyone got through this weekend, I would have said Victoria in both matches.
Oh, but you haven't even studied the form either, so it's a very brave move. All right, we hope you've enjoyed the game here tonight. A big win for the Adelaide Crows. On behalf of the team, good night to you all.
This has been a 7 Sport production. The 1991 AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP, Westpac, CUB, Ultratune, Rocker Brothers and Foodland.